How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto, and today I would like to discuss some of the finer points about what we can be expecting to see in the future regarding DigiByte, and overall this will extend to the cryptocurrency space, because how can you talk about DigiByte without talking about the wider cryptocurrency space, and of course Bitcoin, which at the time of recording this video is coming in at $9,312. So talking about what we're going to be expecting to see in terms of blockchain and of course the wider cryptocurrency space does involve sort of a background knowledge, at least a superficial one, regarding exactly what we can expect in terms of all these different signs that we have to decode here. Binance, of course, listing DigiByte is an interesting look into the future. We do see that a lot of different exchanges have expressed interest in DigiByte, so I think that it's a fair prediction to make that more and more of these pretty well-renowned exchanges will be in fact listing DigiByte, which I would imagine is pretty bullish news for people who were sort of contemplating, and of course many people were commenting, trying to put different markers and different sort of hints and stuff, and just basic guesses and to some extent of people talking about what exchanges will list DigiByte and other altcoins in the future. But that is interesting, and it definitely does go a long way. But one of the more nuanced topics I would say would be blockchain adoption, and this is a prediction that if you're a fan of this channel, then you're definitely aware is one that I personally subscribe to, which of course would be the concept of businesses sort of waking up to the amount of money that they can save in terms of adapting and adopting blockchain technology. And of course this will be a very interesting thing as far as the ticking clock goes when it comes to cryptocurrency, where one company is able to gain an edge over the other while adopting blockchain. In some cases we'll see different companies and some different organizations, corporations, countries in some cases will apt to make their own blockchain, but that can cost millions of dollars. It can be very costly, and I would say that that does certainly tie into my prediction when it comes to DigiByte, and of course talking about what we can expect to see in terms of basically the fact that DigiByte is a well-maintained and available blockchain and does sort of serve to be one of those well-established resources that has a lot of things going for it, and to build on top of a pre-existing blockchain is a lot more economically sound. And of course when we want to talk about just the financial limitations, not every business has the opportunity to actually make their own blockchain. I would say that the DigiByte blockchain, of course, and of course Ethereum, these will be some of the top dogs and centers of conversation as far as we see a lot of these different attributes. And I would say that another prediction would be that as time continues to move on, we will be seeing more and more of these different countries creating their own cryptocurrency, creating their own blockchain, which of course does lend itself to the overall concept of the point that I made in the previous prediction. And all these are sort of can be extrapolated, and you can do the logic yourself and really understand how all the different events that are happening. Of course, the devaluation of USD, and of course the movement of a lot of different countries adapting to digital currency. These are definitely some interesting things to talk about as well. This article right here, DigiByte enjoying mania in different cryptocurrency exchanges, which is interesting. DigiByte really seeming to be getting some interesting headlines along these different course of actions that we've been watching happening and unfolding in a very interesting way. Since June 22nd, the Binance listing was pretty interesting, and of course now we will be watching to see if Bitcoin can test further gains, or if we'll be watching Bitcoin dipping below. I mean, it has really been trading sideways along that $9,000 region, so it will be interesting to see how a lot of those different aspects will be making themselves known. And of course, DigiByte currently at the time of making this video is up 2.43% and up pretty substantially over the 30-day as well. So I think that it will be interesting just to see how the world of altcoins and the shifting dynamics of cryptocurrency will be sort of maneuvering itself around a lot of these different things. And I would say that in terms of that, it brings me to my next prediction, which of course does come down to regulations, does sort of come down to the final gavel, the slamming of the gavel and the final ruling on what parts of the world will actually be hotbeds for cryptocurrency usage, and of course where we can expect to see a lot of these different aspects really coming into their own. On that topic, we have higher than normal selling volume pushes Bitcoin down in early trading Thursday before managing to recover. Bitcoin was trading around 9,297, and of course slipping just to 0.18% over the previous 24 hours. On Thursday, Bitcoin was changing hands around 9,270 on spot exchanges such as Coinbase. 3 hours later, heavy selling volume sent Bitcoin down 3% to as low as 8,980. Bitcoin's price is below its 50-day moving average, but above the 10-day. Such a combination is a sideways bearish signal as market. So I would say, in the short term, I personally don't get wrapped up in moment-to-moment price movements of any of these things. I'm more of an accumulator. Personally, I think that a lot of these different technologies will be worth far more in the long term being hodled than, of course, getting caught up in a lot of these different aspects of trying to make a quick buck scalping the market. But I understand that is relatively beneficial for people who are able to see the different patterns the way that an experienced cryptocurrency enthusiast would. And of course, it is interesting to watch, and I believe technical analysis does have some merit. I know that there are YouTubers out there who espouse the sort of merits of the technical analysis, and I guess there's some good technical analysis YouTubers out there, and there's some pretty crappy ones, but I suppose that's up to you, the viewer, to sort of make your decision on who you're going to listen to. But yeah, so it will be interesting to see. Satoshi Nakamoto apparently didn't mine Bitcoin for the first 5 minutes. Researcher known for his work on mining patterns of the original BTC miner, whom he identified as Satoshi, published a new blog post in which he discussed his new observations. This time, learner focused on the blockchain block timestamps. Apparently Satoshi, will be referring to the original miner. Satoshi barely mined a block in the first 5 minutes. This cannot be random, as the probability of a miner finding a solution to a hash puzzle in the first 5 minutes is 0.39 probability of a dominant miner. So I think this article right here is interesting, and it brings me to a prediction that I would say I'm 60-40 on. I would say I'm 60% saying that we'll probably find out that Satoshi it was more of a group of people rather than an individual person, and I think that we will have more revelations about this original conception of Bitcoin that's generally shrouded in mystery. But I would say ultimately that we'll never really find the full conclusion in that regard. Now, of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'm not your dad. I'm not your financial advisor. But of course, for 2020, it will be interesting to see. Of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Remember, but I am happy to be making these videos for the DigiByte community. And I'm happy to have this conversation, and I think that we've been able to bring a lot of different points into the forefront, which of course will be important in future videos that we'll be talking about, and of course we'll be exploring a lot of these different aspects as well. And I think that that's pretty interesting, and it is important to have communities like these different things. As far as we've been watching a lot of these different aspects coming together, and in the cryptocurrency space. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Thanks for everybody who's shown support for the channel. It has been a pretty wild ride. While we've been watching all these different things that have been unfolding on the global